When I got here 2.5 years ago, I was looking for some contracts. And what happened was I had to reach out to the vendor to ask them for our contract. And I thought, that is not a system that I want to be part of going forward. So we began to explore different opportunities. And then we found out there was this great new product being promoted to mid and smaller size. We looked at the larger product, but we thought this product will give us much more room to expand with. It has a component of organizing your day and your skill set, as well as organizing your contracts, and they're integrated. So in that point, we were sold. So these are the things that we looked at. Organization of products. Right now our contracts sit on a PDF file on a server that get downloaded. That's not very secure or very interactive. Secondly, we found contracts that were we missed action items. We missed payments. We missed notices that we were supposed to give. We missed relationships that renewed automatically, and we should have really looked at it and put out a bid for a particular product, which we missed the date. We saw products that we were using, and we didn't know another department was using the same company. So from a contract negotiation standpoint, we couldn't leverage 3 or 4 departments using the same product with the same vendor because we didn't know about it. So these kinds of things just came to a head, and the GLD was the solution. Well, it's definitely one thing to pick a product, but changing habits is the critical component of what you're really looking at. Saying, okay, staff of 55 plus people, we're going to change how you've been doing something for years. So in order for that to be done, you have to make it as user-friendly as possible. And even though GLD is user-friendly, the process of getting the user into GLD had to be friendly as well. So when we put a process document together, we really thought about, first, what contracts were going to be uploaded into the system. And then that sparked a whole conversation, and I had to redo our contract policy internally and determine how you figure out liability and if it's more than 10,000 or 5,000. Because remember, non-lawyers are using this product for us internally. So it's not enough to say all contracts over 10,000 are going in, because some contracts have a liability of more than 10, but the money exchanged is less than 10. So the first thing we had to tackle was put together a contract policy that was going to work cohesively with our contract management system. Once that's in place, then we had to look at how were our contracts reviewed. So there was definitely a second step on reviewing how contracts came into the legal department, how they were reviewed, and who was going to upload. Would it be the lawyer that reviewed the contract, or would it be the client, the internal client? We decided the internal client would be the one, because otherwise the legal department would be uploading on a constant basis. The second question came into play is, okay, how will we tag these items? Because if someone leaves the organization, we want the system to live unto itself, that we're not impeded by a staff member leaving the organization. We found out through various people leaving the organizations that we didn't have access to contracts, and they're gone. The time consumption of finding those is astronomical. So to us, this system will definitely help. When you have amendments to agreements, like our event department often has, we had to have a system that was going to hold the emails that virtually amended the agreements, changing food concessionaire or changing what tablecloth you were going to use to a larger picture. So the system definitely we had to meet with every department and find out what did they need out of a contract management system. What did the sponsorship people need, the event people, the finance, the HR? And once you accumulate that, you begin to put a process document together that's going to apply to all your departments that are going to use this. Then we asked each department to designate a GLD person. And with that designation, we had a training session. We revamped the process document again after questions came up in the training session. Then we gave the process document to people that never had been in the system before. And when it worked for them, we knew we had it. Well, made it mandatory. That would be staff acceptance number one. It's always good if you tie bonuses to something, but we couldn't do that. So basically, we said death, taxes, and GLD, that by April 15, your contracts had to be in place and up. And otherwise, any exposure that was given to the organization or contracts that weren't implemented, your VP would be responsible for that failure. And so the VPs obviously don't want to be responsible for that failure. So I guess it's accountability and responsibility and checking. So every quarter we go in and we have a schedule going out that we're going to check, has this department uploaded or updated their contracts? What does this department do? Because nothing's worse than moving things to a software system and not having in place a check system periodically throughout the year, going in perpetuity. I think from a personal standpoint, it's giving me some peace of mind. I know that I'm going to be able to find a contract, and when I get a contract from a particular department to review, I don't have to say, where's last year's contract? Where's last year's amendment? Where's all the emails that amended this particular term? Everything isn't going to be in one place. So I don't have to have that back and forth, time-consuming exchange between the department that handed me the new contract and what was done in the past. The second area is when I review a contract, I can see what we have and what other clauses we have in other similar contracts. And maybe we created a certain indemnification clause that I liked in another particular contract. I know where it is in a second. So peace of mind, organization, and lastly, when I leave the organization, I know I'm leaving it in a better place and a better status than when I came.